The question every time we make a 5-star predictions list, do I actually know what I like to read? Hi friends, my name's Brittany from Brittany Loves Reading, and for today, I need to update my 5-star predictions list. I needed to do this anyway. This was on the top of my list because from my last video, a lot of those books I've either read or can't read because they are from the St. Martin's Press boycott. That video predated that, and when I went and looked back, there was an unfortunate number of them on there. So I needed to update this list. But I really needed to update this list going into the Amazing Readathon. If you don't know what the Amazing Readathon is, it is a readathon hosted by Bree from 4 Paws in a Books. You can check it out down below. And one of the sightseeing prompts is to read a 5-star predictions book. So I needed a list of 5-star predictions. One, to complete that sightseeing prompt at some point during the readathon. I will pick at that time. And also for upcoming future things where this is inevitably a other prompt. So I have looked around my shelves, looked around my Kindle, looked for 5 books that I think I am going to give 5 stars, and let's dive into those. Let's start with a sci-fi book that I know I am going to absolutely love because I loved the first in the series. And that is A Prayer for the Crowned Shy. This is the second book in the Monk and Robot series by Becky Chambers. The first book is A Psalm for the Wild-Built. I adored A Psalm for the Wild-Built, and I cannot wait to jump back into this world. In the first book, we meet Dex and Mosscap. Dex is a tea monk, and Dex uses tea to help people in their day-to-day lives. But they do feel a little unrest in their existence as well and decide to go on an adventure and go into the forest. On this adventure, Dex meets Mosscap, who is a robot. We discover the robots, once they were freed from their manual labor and things that the humans put them through, went into the wild. And now Mosscap is coming to find out more about humans. They meet each other and they form a friendship. I absolutely adored this book. I adored it. I adored Dex. I adored Mosscap. I love them both, and I cannot wait to dive back into this series. And I just know this is going to be a 5-star book. The Unmaking of June Farrow by Adrienne Young has to go on this list. I adored Spells for Forgetting, and this is another magical realism book by the same author that I have highly anticipated. In this one, we follow June. June has been raised on her family's flower farm, and there's always been some rumors in this small town about this family. They seem to have a curse attached to them. I don't know that much about the curse, but I'm excited to find out. And potentially even a little bit of magic, as this is a magical realism book. June's mother went missing many years ago, and she was raised by her grandmother. After her grandmother's death, she starts to find clues about her mother's disappearance, and also starts realizing that some of the magical things she thought were not really real or things she made up as a child might have been a lot more real than she thought. Spells for Forgetting was on my best books of the year last year, so this book is definitely a 5-star prediction for me. Another sequel to a book that I gave 5 stars earlier this year and absolutely adored is Sunbringer, and the first book is God Killer. This is a series by Hannah Kaner that follows a God Killer, Cassette. And Cassette had a horrible thing happen to her as a child that made her hate the gods. And then when the king outlaws the gods, she becomes a god killer. She ends up meeting a little girl named Inara and an ex-knight named Elo, and they go on a journey to help Inara get rid of the god that has attached itself to her. Sketty is this cute little god of white lies, and he, for some reason, has attached himself to Inara, and they need to get him off of her. They go on this journey to do just that, and a lot of things come out about these 3 cast of characters, and also our god Sketty and all the other gods too. I love this world. I love the commentary that the author put into this book. How much was in God Killer in such a small amount of pages was amazing, and I expect amazing things from Sunbringer. I may be going into this with too high expectations because God Killer is just so great, but I am very excited to dive in. I recently got this beautiful special edition of Lessons in Chemistry by Bonnie Garmus, and I am so excited to dive into it. I've heard fantastic things about this book. It's one of my friend Kelsey's favorite books. So I have some high expectations and think this could be a 5-star book for me. This follows a chemist, Elizabeth Zott. And Elizabeth is alive in the 60s and is working at the Hastings Research Institute. Yes, Hastings Research Institute. And is the only female working there. When she gets pregnant and is unwed, she's somehow cast out of the institute and ends up hosting a TV show, like a cooking TV show that's on during the day. She uses this as a moment to empower women watching her show and maybe get them to kind of start pushing back against the status quo. I love the feminist vibes that I'm getting from the synopsis of this book. And because Kelsey loves this, and I do agree with Kelsey a lot of the time, and because I have the special edition and I really want to love a book that I have the special edition of, I really do hope this is a 5-star. It would not be a 5-star predictions list if I did not have a dark academia book somewhere on this list. So the last book that I will be putting on here is The Will of the Many by James Islington. This book is chunky. It is dark academia. The synopsis doesn't tell me a whole lot. But what it does tell me, I will tell you. And eventually I will read it and know more about it. And I'm sure I'll probably vlog it at some point. So there is an academy. There's a republic. They seem to rule the world. Makes sense. It's dark academia, secret society, powerful, you know, what we normally have. And then we have a person named Vis, or at least I think that's the name. The pronunciation may be incorrect. Vis joins the society. He acts like he belongs. They think he belongs. He joins, but that is not why he is there. He is there to get in, solve a murder, and destroy it from the inside. What is going on in this book? I cannot wait to see. And it's dark academia, so I had to, put some of that on here because I love it. My heart just gets happy when I read the dark academia. So here is my 5-star predictions list along with a prayer for the crown shy. And I really hope that I am right and I love all these books, because if I don't love any of these, it will actually be quite a disappointment because there's really specific reasons these are on here. So fingers crossed I'm right and these are all 5 stars. And also fingers crossed that I make this list and actually read the books in a timely manner. You never really know with me when I make these lists. I will either knock it out and read them all or only read like one and then 6 months later be like, oh, right, I made that list. Which way it will go, who knows? But thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, friends.